When it comes to PYTH, as of right now, $2 is around a 16x from here. But what are my thoughts on this, even though nothing I say is financial advice? Well, first of all, I haven't stopped thinking about $2 when it comes to my mind, and some people may be thinking, okay, but why? Well, it's because I still like the fundamentals of PYTH, and I think that we've already kind of seen the blueprint work a little bit when it comes to Chainlink. And Chainlink is very well known for its aspect about oracles, or should I say it's a decentralized oracle network. And PYTH, as we all know, is a blockchain oracle for market data. So we've already kind of seen that. But before I get deeper into that, right, I do want to talk about what PYTH did just not too long ago. Like, for instance, PYTH, just back in August, right? I'm not saying we take a look back a long time ago. I'm just saying let's take a look at what it did back in August. The market cap was around 1.3 billion. If we take a look at PYTH right now, market cap is slightly under 700 million. So just back in August, it was already around a 2x from here. I know a lot of friends out there that would be very happy if Bitcoin went to 200 grand, right? If, let's say, Ethereum did around a 2x from here, a lot of my friends would be happy. But in order for Bitcoin, let's say, for instance, to do a 2x, the price would have to be around 200,000. Again, we just saw PYTH at around a $1.3 billion market cap very recently, just back in August. Bitcoin, we've never seen at 200 grand before. Now, that wouldn't surprise me during this cycle, but still. For Bitcoin to do around a 2x, though, that's going to be a territory where it's never reached before, right? But then when we take a look at PYTH, around a $1.3 billion market cap, we just saw it back in August. Now, that's totally different than, of course, $2, which is a market cap at that point, considering current circulating supply of around 11.5 billion. Totally aware of that, but still, it's nothing that I would think seems too outlandish. But even besides that, why do I like the fundamentals of PYTH, and why, again, wouldn't $2 necessarily surprise me? Well, it's because I like the fundamentals. Like I mentioned earlier in the video, PYTH, it's a blockchain oracle for market data. Now, again, why did I compare it to Chainlink earlier in the video? Well, it's because if we take a look at Chainlink, and it's a decentralized oracle network, within that space of oracles, Chainlink is pretty much number one, I think, in terms of popularity. But there hasn't really been this kind of surge in many projects that are that compelling, I think, that are focused on that space. Like, if I think about projects that are focused on oracles, what are the top two projects I often think about? I think about something like PYTH, I think about something like Chainlink. Now, arguably, I could also, if let's say it's a top 3 or top 4, I can even mention Flare, because Flare has an aspect of the Flare time series oracle, which is the native oracle for Flare. And then to a much lesser extent, I would say something called Daya. Now, Daya is nowhere near as popular as Flare, PYTH, or even Chainlink, but still, I think that kind of showcases as well that this space doesn't really have that many compelling competitors, in my opinion. This is just my perspective, because when it comes to blockchain gaming, it's easy to name over 10 projects that are compelling, but when it comes to this space of oracles, it's not even that many. Just take a look at the discrepancy difference between even PYTH to Chainlink, right? Which is very massive, because Chainlink's native token, market cap is in the many billions. PYTH right now is not even a billion, let alone something like Daya, which had a massive pullback and the market cap is like below 100 million. You know what I mean? So if I take a look at something like that, it's just very fascinating for me to see how within this space, there really isn't that many competitors that are that compelling in my perspective. So when it comes to PYTH, I think it's in a unique position where it has good fundamentals in my opinion, but then it doesn't have that many reputable, or should I say famous competitors. So I think that actually works towards its advantage. Now, even besides that, why do I like PYTH overall in terms of kind of the use case? It's because if we take a look at an oracle, what is it, right? It's basically a data feed that brings data from off the chain, so it's called off-chain data, and it brings data over into the blockchain. Now, people may be thinking, okay, why would there be a need for basically data feed that brings off-chain data into the blockchain? Like, who cares? Well, it's because many, decentralized applications out there, they can't function properly without this off-chain data. We have to consider how there's thousands upon thousands of decentralized applications, and there's probably going to be more, or should I say, hypothetically, maybe a lot more that are going to pop up moving forward. And a lot of them, where are they going to probably need? Off-chain data. So that's why I think Chainlink has been so tremendously successful historically speaking. Now, PYTH, of course, also to a certain extent, because how can a project not be considered successful and reach a market cap even right now of over 600 million? This is just my perspective, but at the same time, PYTH is a little bit underperforming from what it is because of the pullback. But still, even besides that, if we take a look at, for instance, when it comes to PYTH, it's even been noted that according to Solana, the PYTH network is a high-frequency oracle built using Solana ecosystem technology. And Solana, it's a layer 1 blockchain that has been gaining a lot of momentum, I think, at least for the past 2 years, because for quite a while, it was kind of viewed as a good layer 1 blockchain, but it didn't really become that mainstream. Now it's becoming more and more mainstream, even despite, kind of altcoins having a pullback, generally speaking. But even though as of right now, it's still being overshadowed by a BNB, for instance, Solana is still very well known, I think, as a layer 1 blockchain. It's supposedly very scalable. I am a fan of the gas fees, which I don't think are too high. I think it's very reasonable. And when I take a look at Solana as well, sure, it's mostly known for the meme coins on Solana, but if we take a look at some of the more so utility-driven projects on Solana, it's not that bad. So if, let's say, Solana has a lot of momentum during an altcoin season, which wouldn't surprise me, by the way, considering the market cap, the amount of holders, and the kind of popularity we've seen historically speaking, if PYTH kind of went along with that ride, it wouldn't necessarily surprise me. Now, when I take a look at, again, I just want to harp back to the idea of, let's say, $2 when it comes to PYTH around a 60x from here. Like, some people may be thinking, okay, that is not bullish enough. Well, I don't really think that way, because around an $11.5 billion market cap, it's nothing that is necessarily too easy to achieve, It's nothing like that's a walk in the park like that. This is actually kind of not that easy. So I don't think it is being not bullish enough. And also, around a 60x, again, like I mentioned earlier in the video, like, I don't know if, let's say, for instance, something like BNB could do around a 60x from here in the next 5 months. This is just my perspective. So I don't view this as necessarily such a bad figure, right? I don't think it's such a bad thing. It wouldn't disappoint me. And also, when I take a look at just what PYTH has been able to achieve so far in terms of the adoption, I think it's not that bad when it comes to that market cap. But again, only time will tell. Now, when I take a look at PYTH, sometimes you have to say, okay, take a look at how it's doing, but when is there going to be an altcoin season? Well, that is beyond my capabilities, because even if I pulled up a price chart, right? Let's say I pulled up a price chart on PYTH, I drew a random triangle, I drew a falling wedge pattern. Do you think even at that moment, the market's going to care about what I have to do in that price chart? Absolutely not. Like, I cannot demand the market to do anything. The only thing I can do is control myself. And whenever an altcoin season even wants to start during the cycle, if it ever even does, it's beyond my control. Like, I have no way to demand that to happen. So then at the same time, all I can do, even though I'm not telling them to do anything, I'm just dollar cost averaging, holding, and just waiting, and that's pretty much about it. So let's say the market does wake up, it's kind of like by just holding, it's preparing to go along with the ride. So that way, for instance, maybe I'm not checking my portfolio, maybe I'm not checking the price charts, maybe I'm sleeping or something like that, and the market goes up. It's kind of like going along with the ride. Instead of me trying to find the perfect moment, which I don't think I will, I'd just rather hold, just dollar cost average, wait. So then if, let's say, something does happen, it's kind of like going along with the ride. I don't necessarily have to find the perfect time, if that makes sense, but I'm not telling you to do anything, and clearly, again, nothing I say is financial advice, but I'm still staying patient when it comes to PYTH. I'm still a fan of the project, and I haven't given up. I'm still waiting and staying patient, and that's about it. And feel free to subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I greatly appreciate it, and I want to say thank you for watching. I hope you all have a nice day. It's Willie the Captain, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.